Kalimera, kalispera, kalinichta, no matter where in this wacky, wild, and sometimes wonderful world you might be. Thank you for making the Highbury Squad part of your day. How is everyone doing out there? Transfer windows open, and the shit's already hit the fan. Let's go. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad. Welcome back to the Sophie and Kyle Total Football Show. It's actually the Sophie and Kyle Total Transfer Football Show tonight. Welcome, everyone. And if I could get rid of this picture, I will. And then you could see our faces. God, he's back, everyone. Put that away immediately.
Oh, champions of England, you never sing that. You'll never
really?
sing that. You never sing that. Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that.
It's my show. I could do what I want. Now, Kyle, unless you want a red card right away, back from vacation. Let's see. Let's see if he changes his tune a little here. Let's say hello to Kyle Campbell. Welcome back to the show, Kyle. Oh, God. I literally want to strangle you right now. But you know what?
Yeah, I bet you do.
Because you're Campbell 2.0, I'm going to refrain because I don't want any lawsuits. Okay. I'm looking forward to a lovely summer ahead. All right. I'm going to give him, you know what, Dimitri? Why don't we start off with a nice yellow? Because I'm pretty sure Kyle's going to get a second one tonight. I'm pretty sure he is cruising for a bit of Kalina old school. Let's say hi to everyone in the room. Hi, Lynn. How you doing? Hi, Mark. Tell Kyle to keep... Yeah, we're going to get to that. Tammy thinks you're funny. She adores you. Chief Like Officer. You've got the Chief Like Officer in your court, so you're all right. Good evening, Trev. Hi, Amira. Evening, everyone. Hello, Fergus from Guns and Yellow Ribbers. No rice for me today. No. I'm going to have a little bit of a Kai tie. Too soon for the puns? For Kai Havertz? Maybe a Kai tie. Not a pad tie. Pie pad. Anyway, we're going to figure it out. The Sheik is here. Hawkwind's here. Alcarp's here. Everyone's here. Good evening, everybody. It's so good to see all of you. Trev's here. Everyone's here. Let's start talking about football. Everyone's gone crazy. Okay, where do we begin? Let's begin at the beginning in terms of... Oh, by the way, how was your holiday, by the way? We're going to ask you that. We'll be polite to you.
Yeah, it was very good, thank you. It was very good. I watched, obviously, City win the FA Cup in Dubai as well, which was good. And, yeah, obviously, that was halfway to our treble. So, look, it was a very good holiday. It was very hot. I was loving it. I was sipping on the strawberry daiquiri.
Ooh, look at you. Strawberry daiquiri man here in the house, everyone. Ooh, old school. Love that. Very nice. Yeah, okay. Simon says, we ain't getting Rice or Caicedo. Get used to it. We won't pay the money as per low balling as usual joke club. Right. So let's talk about Rice. Hot commodity, isn't he? Old Declan. I don't have any pictures. I'm not going to put any pictures. In fact, I will. Here's one of Declan. There we go. There's Declan. Everyone wants him. He's a great player. Lifted the European Conference trophy for his club. Good servant. Keeps out of the papers. Works hard. He's expensive, but he's a British player. We know that. Look, we just saw Bellingham go. Add-ons at Real Madrid can be achieved. Maybe add-ons at the Arsenal can't be achieved. I feel, Kyle, that it's all or nothing this summer for the Gunners in the transfer window, but I don't think fans should be throwing their toys out the pram on day 2. What's your sense on Declan Rice and your cheating club kind of coming in for him a little bit? Let's talk about Rice, honestly. Okay, fine. Yeah, had to throw that in.
He's a great player. Rice, he's probably the best English midfielder. Like we've got maybe him and Bellingham are close. They're better at different things, but obviously Rice is playing well in the Premier League for a team that isn't great. So you've got to give him all the credit there. And he's obviously a hot prospect at the moment, so everyone wants him. I think Arsenal fans are just worried because the big dogs are coming now for him, which is City. And if City are going to offer him a starting spot in the starting 11, he's going to take that.
Does Pep Guardiola offer, unless Haaland, even Grealish couldn't break into the team in his first season? We've seen that with Manchester City. You know, I mean, Calvin Phillips, has he even played? Does he even get a medal, Calvin Phillips?
He did. He got medals for... Yeah, he does. He played enough minutes.
You qualify more to get a medal this season than he does. But the point is that Arsenal have gone in for a bid, right? Your club are sniffing. We're going to park your club for a second because they can go in and get anyone at any time. This would be a watershed moment, however, if Declan Rice stuck to his guns and said, no, Arsenal's the club I want to join. I don't want to go to Manchester City. I want to stay in London. This is where I want to play my football. As a player right now, you're Declan Rice. What are you looking for? And take consideration to winning, progress, the team around. I want you to think about everything. You're Declan Rice, and this is the most monumental transfer you're going to make in your career. His next contract will be big as well, but this is the big move. What are you doing?
Well, I'm looking at like surroundings. He's already living in London. So if he was to go to the city, he'd have to move down to Manchester or in and around Manchester. So it's not very convenient. And if you look at City as well, the player in his position is the best in the world. So are you really going to get in over him? Probably not, unless Pep finds a way how to fit him in, which I don't think he will, because we've got Stones, Rodri. I don't think Declan Rice is better than them two. So
I think that's West Ham brewing the Man City rumours. Do you think Man City are really in for Declan Rice, or is that his agent giving us a little...
I think West Ham are probably doing it on purpose to get Arsenal to pay more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they certainly are. Let's read some of the comments here. Rice has to move for footballing reasons only. There are only 3 clubs in England that can offer him that. He wants Champions League football too. He wants to stay in London. There's only one team playing Champions League football in London. In fact, there's only one team playing European football. Oh, no, actually, West Ham now. Damn it. Yeah, but I mean, you know, Champions. I mean, it's not even the Europa League. Day 2, we're panicking. Yeah, it's PTSD is what it's called, Simon. PTSD. Grealish is still pasted as well. Didn't take long to turn left, says Tom Sable. Rice isn't leaving London. Arsenal will get their man. Caicedo is probably off the table unless we gazump Chelsea after their bid. Tammy says they have known since January that he was wanted. Wakey, wakey, edu. So let's talk about this a little bit, because there's this notion that Arsenal are slow to do their business. Why are we so woeful at big transfers, is asking Evgeny. Mark posted something earlier about why is it that we're kind of hapless in the transfer? I think these accusations, and I will call them that, in the court of law here at the Highbury Squad this evening, I think are a little bit far-fetched and melodramatic at this point. Okay, let's look at the evidence. Have Arsenal been rubbish in the transfer window in the past? 100%, Kyle. Yeah, and it's the 40 million plus £1 Suarez thing that dented our reputation in the transfer market windows, no matter when. People thought that we were exceptionally arrogant. And Arsene Wenger did his elitist thing. Of course, at the time, he was very choosy about who he wanted to do business with. And I have total respect for the guy. But that was a really low point for us. And it took us years to recover from having that reputation. Now, I was just talking to Harry and Tom on Harry's show on Chronicles of a Gooner, if you want to go check it out. And we were talking about how the people in the chat, if you know what the offer is that they're looking for, put it on the table. Now, in negotiations and in business, you never go... When you put in an offer for a house and it's 1.5 million or 300 grand, do you guys go, yep, here you go, there's a 300 grand? No, you do not. No. When you go to the market and you want to buy a scarf for the winter, Kyle, and you look and you see, that's nice. I'm not paying 50 quid. I'll give you 40 for it. Everyone else can haggle. Everyone else can try and get the great price. Arsenal Football Club cannot. But they should be able to. But because we failed in the past, that's what people hold up against us. Now, let me give you the flip side of that, Kyle, and then you can let me know what you think. I believe since the transfer window of the summer of Ramsdale and Tomiyasu and Benjamin White, in terms of acquisitions, we have shown that we can do business quickly, get our players in, and we can go off and have a tour. We didn't back that up in January. But in the following summer, we got Jesus and Zinchenko. And even now, when you think about what we paid for them, it's nuts when you look at some of the prices going around, right? And then we got Trossard in January. I think on June 16th, is it June 16th? Or whatever date it is today, to be throwing darts at the club and Edu is a little bit premature. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of an overreaction from the Arsenal fans. I think I think Arsenal fans are just so used to missing out on the player they've been wanting for so long. So I think when Arsenal are in a good situation like they are now for Rice and Caicedo, players like that, Arsenal fans just want them there and there. Where transfers take ages. Some transfers can take a month because negotiations with the players. Some transfers can be short. I think it's just patience, really. I understand why Arsenal fans are worried because obviously, like the Mudryk deal, for example, you were in the lead for him for ages, and then he just went to Chelsea. So I understand, but at the same time, though, if the player wants to join, he will join the club.
Yeah, and also Kyle, this too, Lone Star, hope all is well in Texas. West Ham have one of the biggest assets they've had in the history of their club. They want to maximize their asset. We don't want to pay max price. And of course, we're going to start at a point. Fans have issue with this 6-year repayment. Fans have issue with the add-ons for us to reach or win the Premier League or the Champions League. We talked about on the previous show, because I asked about Bellingham, why is he X amount? And of course, the add-ons are real targets at Real Madrid is what people think, because Real Madrid can win the Champions League. They can win La Liga. When you have Manchester City in your way, those are tough obstacles to face.
Yeah, they are, because City are just like, they're just so powerful. City,
but this isn't even about City, right? This is about, in terms of Arsenal strategy, we bought 2 players from City. I would say, we used to sell everyone to City. We used to sell people to Chelsea. We used to sell people to Barcelona. And I know people don't want Chelsea sloppy seconds. We'll get to that. But this isn't even about City, Kyle. This is about Arsenal, and I think jumping the gun a little bit too soon, and let's let this play out.
Yeah, I think when City's name gets mentioned, everyone's like, oh, panic stations. Oh, everyone let's all be worried because City can easily get him. It's like no one really knows that City even want him. Like, I don't know that City want him. Like, I've seen on Instagram people going, oh yeah, City are interested, but City could be interested in every single midfielder in the world. It doesn't really mean City going to go for him. I saw that second bid maybe getting put in by another big English club. It could be City. It could be Chelsea. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll get to Chelsea.
Arsenal just got to focus on themselves and just focus on on the player. If he doesn't go, he doesn't go. But if he wants to go, as I said, he will go.
Okay. So I am getting it in the ear, just so you know. I like Barry. No one has a clue. Jimmy says, no, Sophie, it's not premature. They've been negotiating from January, so they know what West Ham wants for Rice. They've been negotiating. And also people think if personal terms are done or whatever, that a deal's done. And it's just not the case. Rice gives me Mudryk anxiety, feels like we have been here before. This is why everybody has anxiety today. We need to get deals done before we go on pre-season. And did we not do that last summer and the summer before? Lynn says, I'm sorry, Sophie. However, the problem Arsenal is they run a business correctly. And so we are classed as being slow or useless, but we haven't got 115 charges against us to answer. Look at that from Lynn. Ooh, zinger. No one complains about missing out on Mudryk during the second half of the season. I mean, he's going to go on to be a superstar. Let's not kid ourselves here. The dude is a baller. He just needs confidence, right? Hey, Eros. What is your take on the transfer market? You're a player. You're also a fan. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is there something going on? Let's do this. Is there anything going on in your thoughts today? Campbell's Corner related to the transfer market? Maybe. Let's see. Kyle Campbell, speak now, forever hold your peace.
Well, one of my thoughts is I believe that David Ornstein is better than Fabrizio Romano.
Breaking news. Dun, 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 dun. Woo. Why? Talk to us.
It seems like everything David Ornstein reports is fresh, where Fabrizio he's a tapping merchant, isn't he, nowadays? So,
wow. Fabrizio Romano, a tap-in merchant. I likey. Carry on. Yeah. I'm listening. You've got my attention.
I just think that he hasn't really come out anything big lately. And I think David Ornstein is the one who broke the Declan Rice interest from Arsenal. And he's the one who, what else did he break?
He broke the Xhaka news too, didn't he?
Yeah, he breaks Xhaka news. I understand he does Arsenal transfers, but still, if Fabrizio Romano is that good,
we call him the Oracle.
He'll be first to it. Yeah, he'll be the first to it if Fabrizio is so good. And it seems like everything Ornstein comes out with due to Premier League teams, he's correct. Where Fabrizio comes out with stuff, it's like, huh? It's like, it never happens. But because he puts a post up of the player with the shirt, everyone goes, oh yeah, you're doing it all along.
Yeah. You know, Fabrizio Romano feels to me like he's a disruptive journalist, right? And by that, I mean, Netflix disrupted the film industry. Uber disrupted taxis, right? Trivago disrupted travel. And I think that, you know, if Fabrizio Romano is the Uber, then David Ornstein is the black cab, London black cab.
Yeah.
Feels official. Yeah. Feels like he's part of a really big, like, you know, corporation or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he broke Saliba's contract too. Thank you, Wilmo. That is correct.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah. What do you think? Like, I feel that Ornstein has an air about him, whereas Fabrizio's more of a renegade.
Yeah, I think when David Ornstein for that stuff, it's not like it's just like it's so simple. He just puts it on his Twitter. There's no ifs or buts. He just puts it there. Everyone can see. Where Fabrizio puts loads of different things to try and make it look all like cool, different. Where he just like David Ornstein just drops bombs, doesn't he? He just drops it, and then everyone's like, "What? No way!" And it ends up happening. Where Fabrizio was like, "We knew that, mate." You know what I mean? It's been happening for about 5 days.
Literally, David Ornstein throws the grenade in the dressing room and then leaves.
It's like a mic drop, isn't it?
Let's talk a little bit about Caicedo. By the way, guys, Zenith coins, don't forget, they've been great to us this season. You still can get your discount. Use HS15 for your 10% off. And you can follow Kyle here on Instagram, Kyle Trey Campbell. And of course, you can follow the show, like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your mates about it. Caicedo looks like a Caicedo for Arsenal, Kyle. What's your thoughts on... I never actually ever thought or put money or stock into him coming to Arsenal. I feel like this is one of those fan-generated, please, please, please sign for us. We showed interest in January. I just think Arsenal fans need to get used to the fact that we're not going to pay 120 million for 2 players. Yeah. What's your thoughts on Caicedo? Yeah. Does he have a higher ceiling than Declan Rice?
No, I don't think he does. I've actually seen Caicedo live once. He was good. He was a good player, but he was nothing really special. Like, he didn't really like stand out from everyone else, really. Like, obviously, the transfer market nowadays is a bit all over the place. Players are worth 120 million, where realistically they're £60 million player. And I think Arsenal may have dodged a bullet if they were to get Rice and not to get Caicedo.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I personally think. Because it seems like Caicedo just wants money. That's what it seems like.
Let's get you to answer this one as well from Jimmy Mac, Kyle. Kind of riffing off what you're saying, and Chelsea have been the front runners for a while now. Sophie, if we lose out on Caicedo to Chelsea and we buy Havertz, what's your take? Oh God, okay, the sky will fall, and it will be because look, it's comments like this. Where is it? Let me just get this up, Kyle, so folks can see. All 200 of you in live chat right now, hit the like button, kiss it, like it, hug it, give it some. Sean, the Chelsea sloppy seconds bit is overdone. They turn over managers so often, they're always going to have discards. And early 20s Havertz is a different breed from the late career of Czech David Luiz. I think that's a really good point. And then the juxtaposition to that is, and I've lost it now, but someone talking about us taking sloppy seconds from Chelsea and how they're sick and tired of it. And I think Willian here is the master of this PTSD because the Willian didn't work out. I don't think David Luiz was as awful as some of our fans make out to be. Yeah. And of course, Mudryk has left everyone with like this. He was never our player anyway. Right. Yeah. So what's your take on club to club and sloppy seconds? Aren't players are just looking for an opportunity to play? No, I mean,
yeah, I think players are looking for opportunity to play in a system that suits them as well. Like, also obviously play technical football where Chelsea's football is, like, they haven't really got a game plan. Chelsea, it's just go out there and just not concede that many goals. So obviously it's not really helping like players like Havertz develop. Like Havertz, I don't really rate him that much. People say he hasn't played in this position, but at the same time, though, like, who knows what it would be like in his actual position. But people say Arsenal buying him as a number 9. So, and as a number 9, he's not very good. So why would you want him as a number 9? I don't really get it.
Like, well, do we want him as a number 9? I don't think.
That's what I read.
I think what he wants. Yeah, I think what he wants is the opportunity maybe to play Jesus wider. And I think Havertz, in the way that we play and the way we move, I think he likes the idea of him maybe slotting in with, Odegaard, the flexibility of being able to play Jesus, maybe him down the middle. He's not going to start every game. He's got experience in Champions League. We moved on to Havertz here a little bit. So let's just like talk about the elephant in the room, right? It's Havertz. I want to ask the squaddies this. If Kai Havertz was coming from Bayer Leverkusen with the same, I asked this to Harry and Tom as well. If he was coming from Bayer Leverkusen with the same credentials, the same type of ending to his Bayer Leverkusen career, even though Arteta's identified him as a player, would you be excited about signing Kai Havertz? Is it because he's coming from Chelsea? Is it because you've seen enough? And like our listener boy said, it's been turmoil over there. Pulisic has been, all their players have been rubbish. All of them. You can't tell me those players have just turned rubbish overnight, Kyle.
Yeah, they haven't. Look, Havertz, when Havertz came to Chelsea, he was obviously from Bayer Leverkusen. He was Germany's golden boy, and everyone was expecting big things from him. But in the Prem, he hasn't done that well. Yeah, he's won a Champions League. He won a Champions League. He scored a winning goal, but he has not done enough to say to anyone that, oh yeah, he's a good player. He's going to change Arsenal. He's going to score goals for Arsenal. He's just not going to do that, is he? He won't do that. And well, he may do that. I don't know. He may prove me wrong, but I haven't seen enough from him to go. Havertz is going to go in and he's going to score goals.
But I don't think that's why I think he's a link player for Arteta. He's not buying him to be.
Link player.
But maybe we do. Player. Actually, you know what? We ran out of steam at the end of the season. We do. We need a lot more link players.
Goals.
You know what concerns?
You need a goal scorer, though.
Yes, we do. We need a goal scorer, but we need a right back. We need a centre back. This concentrated energy that Arsenal fans have put into the midfield. It's like the same with Mudryk. It was Mudryk or bust. A little bit before that, it was Vlahovic or bust. Before that, it was Basuma or bust. Before that, it was Tielemans or bust. We ended up with Odegaard. All right. We ended up with Jesus. We ended up with Zinchenko. We ended up re-signing Saliba. you know what I think Arsenal need to be really careful of, Kyle. I want your take on this is you can't re-sign Saliba. You can't re-sign Saka, Ramsdale, Martinelli, Odegaard next, Benjamin White next, and then not go into the transfer window and be aggressive. That's what I want us as fans to be looking at. How do we complete this team to continue to challenge next season? It might not be that you're going to end up with Rice and Caicedo. It might be that we don't end up with either. But Kyle, you can't tell me there aren't other footballers out there that can do the job Mikel Arteta wants to do.
Yeah, well, it's just, well, it's what job does he want you to do? So that's the thing. Like, is he getting Havertz to score goals? Because if he is, then obviously that's not a job that Havertz can do that well.
But I don't think he is buying him to score goals. Otherwise, I don't. It's he's looking at Xhaka. If Xhaka's moving on, right? How can I improve my midfield? How can I bring in players? Premier League experience, Champions League experience. Now, I'm not saying Havertz is my guy, you guys. I'm not saying I want Havertz. I'm just trying to have an open conversation about someone who scored a winning goal in the Champions League final. Okay, folks will say the midfield won that game. And, you know, Havertz was lucky to score. He still scored the goal, still won the Champions League. You know, I think people underestimate the turmoil that's gone on at Chelsea since what's happened with Abramovich, Kyle. And it's a total mess. And you can't tell me as a player over a longer period of time, one manager's gone, two managers gone, these guys are younger. That's not going to affect you as a player.
Right, I've got a question for you and squaddies then, okay? If you get Havertz, okay, and if you get Rice, who's going to be your goal scorer then in your team? Because you haven't got enough money to go and get another a top goal scorer, a prolific goal scorer.
But what if I said to you that Arsenal are the only team in Europe that had 4 players who scored over 10 goals, had assists, etc.? People are underestimating these stats. People are underestimating Martinelli's goals. They're underestimating Odegaard's goals. They're underestimating Saka's goals. You know, Jesus contributed when he came back. The beauty of having a play like Jesus is because now we're getting goals from the flanks and we're getting goals from midfield. Set pieces, Gabriel's been good. Not as good in the latter part of the season. So if you add more goals to that, yeah, of course, it could be the difference between winning the title or not. But in terms of Mikel Arteta and knowing how he's learned under Pep Guardiola, who saw John Stones being one of the best midfielders in football over the last few months?
I didn't see it happening.
I think Arteta thinks, I don't want him to be square pegs, round holes, but he's thinking hybrid players as well. And I don't want Havertz has become the jack of all trades and master of none. And I think what Mikel Arteta is seeing, that's a player I can mold into what I want him to be. Now, would I sign him? No. I'd go for fresh blood. I'd go for something new. But clearly, there's something there that he sees. And I think we have to right now just give him the benefit of the doubt. But Havertz is not coming into Arsenal to be a striker. No. Period.
Okay, I understand, but at the same time, though, if you had a striker, I think you probably would have pushed us for the league harder. I think you would have.
Or if we had a proper backup to Saliba, or if we had Tomiyasu fit, like I don't think the goals were our issue towards the end of the season. Leaking goals became our issue towards the end of the season. Thomas Partey falling off the cliff. You know, losing Saliba at the back, Zinchenko. People can poo-poo that all he wants because of the goal at Liverpool. We lost edge when Zinchenko went out injured.
And it seemed like Arsenal didn't have a focal point, did they? Up front, they didn't really have anyone they could rely on to score them a goal when they needed one.
Well, I think because we've relied on goals from different parts of the pitch, which Arsenal have suffered over the last few years. If Aubameyang wasn't scoring, we weren't winning games. At all. And so, you know, for us, we're not going to go and spend Haaland money on a striker. Arteta wants to play this way. Sorry, I just saw a funny message. Sophie, the amount of wingers we have, if we sign Havertz, we could start an airline. I don't know. 250 in live chat. Hit the like button if you like that joke from Fergus. I do. I think it's hilarious. Raging Demon. False 9, false 10, false 8. We got a false manager. Come on. Oh, dear. And you know what? I would too. And I spoke to Balogun The video's up on the page. Even Kyle, you brought it up about Balogun. Why not give him a chance? But
That's what I mean.
because we could get 50 million for him, and we could rebuild. And if the goals, if there was no Eddie, right? In fact, I would sell Eddie and Balogun, both, and I'd bring in close to 90 million. What do you think? Sell them both, and then go get that striker you want. And who's the striker? Who would you bring into Arsenal?
Vlahovic.
Yeah.
Dusan Vlahovic. 100%.
He's definitely the centre forward we don't have.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what?
He just scores goals.
When I covered Juventus last summer, there was something rotten going on. You could see it now, right? It was the most miserable camp, miserable tour. The staff were lovely, but everyone seemed like the team seemed miserable. Vlahovic seemed so miserable. And
Really?
yeah, it was the vibe was so weird. And you went to Real Madrid and they're all like, the Real Madrid camp is up. And there was something, you know, the undertone there just seemed like a very unhappy camp. And he seemed unhappy. So it wouldn't surprise me if he does kind of, you know, come to the Premier League. Osimhen, I hear you, JS. That's not happening. I don't think so. Now, I would like to hand over to Kyle because you've given us some scout and about reports. You've picked some players, and some of them are on the docket for the transfers. Most of them that you picked. Talk to us.
Yeah. So obviously, players like Xavi Simons. He's obviously on all Arsenal fans' radars. Everyone wants him. So look, he played last night, didn't he, for the Netherlands? And obviously they got beat quite badly, but he still did all right. But look, he's a player that I think every team would want. I think so. Look, he's a great player, and also Rasmus Højlund as well.
There he is, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Man United, your enemy, sniffing around. They are.
You know what? I won't mind him going United because he'd been in the Prem, so I can watch him. He's a good player though, great player, and he deserves a Prem move. Even to Arsenal, Arsenal should go for a player like Vlahovic or Rasmus Højlund. They should. Mm-hmm. They have to. They really have to.
And then who else was in your pool? Enciso, no?
Julio Enciso to Man City. Look, if it happens, I'll be quite surprised, but I would take him at City any day because he's a player. The goal he scored against us was enough for me to be like, yeah.
Is this one of your friends? Is this one of your friends bottling the league? Is that one of your mob? Oh, very funny. And Dublin Gooner, yes, 100%. I hope you saw that I put that up. Scoring goals has not been Arsenal's problem this season. Do you have anyone like below the radar that we should be looking at, like a championship player, or there's always the where are the Ollie Watkins of the world? Where are the Jamie Vardys of the world? Where are those players? Everyone wants the sexy name. And I think one thing Arsenal fans need to get used to is maybe the sexy names don't always result in, creating success. What is there someone below there that we should be keeping our eye on?
Victor Gyökeres for Coventry. I've got a shirt in the back.
Oh, yeah? How'd you get that? I've asked you this. You got that from him directly?
Yeah.
Yeah?
For my brother.
Why him? Why him?
He's a very good player. Very good. He's direct. He's strong. He's quick. He can put the ball in the back of the net. He got... Did he get top goal scorer? I don't think he did. Did he? He might have, actually. He might have got top goal scorer.
And see this... Sorry, go on.
And yeah, obviously Victor Gyökeres and Chuba Akpom for Middlesbrough.
Well. Demsek's wondering why you're not bigging up your brother, man.
Yeah.
Just saying. Yep. You know.
What, Tyrese to Arsenal?
Why not? Make that happen.
Yeah, but you got too many wingers. Too many wingers, aren't you?
We do. As Fergus just said, we can start an airline.
Start an airline, exactly.
Well. Look who it is. Super Kev 1.0. It's Campbell 1.0 here.
Oh.
Hello. At ease, Super Kev at ease. We're having a good old-fashioned transfer show conversation here. We're trying to calm the chaos, aren't we, Kyle? Calm the chaos. What else do you have on your agenda for today? What do you want to talk about? Like what, I mean, this is going to be a long summer. Yeah.
I think we should talk about the fixtures that got released today.
Ooh, see, no Arsenal person's talking about that. They're just talking about Rice and Caicedo. We have Bush.
Yeah.
Excellent. Refreshing content here. Go for it. Who's your first game?
We've got Burnley away on a Friday night.
Of course. They're going to do Vincent Kompany. Jeez. That just came out of an algorithm hat, didn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit rigged. That. I'm not going to lie. Bit rigged. But...
Oh, maybe. A bit rigged. Does that mean you're starting to believe this as well? Maybe just a little bit.
Champions of Europe. We're champions of Europe.
You are champions of Europe. There's no denying that.
Fair, our fixture's actually very nice, I must say.
Yeah, we have Nottingham Forest. Your dad's going to be really busy on the first day of the season. Yeah. We have Forest, and I believe it's a noon kickoff, which we hate. There we go with the excuses. I think so. We have Manchester United as our second last game of the season. Yeah.
Really?
We're going to win the league at Old Trafford next season. Again. Have you ever won the league at Old... Let me ask you this. Have you ever won the league at Old Trafford?
Never.
Have you ever won the league at Anfield?
Never.
Have you ever won the league at Shite Hart Lane?
Never. I'm guessing you have.
We have.
Yes.
We have. We've done it twice, actually, at Tottenham. Just saying. Which was glorious. And yeah, the rest is history. Anyway, I digress. Let's see. What? Let's see. I'm available at 20:45. Do we stay on air at 20:45 to hear Super Kev? Kyle, do we stay on air for another 7 minutes to get Super Kev in studio?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Go. Okay, here we go. Fabrizio Romano.
Yeah, Fabrizio.
Sapping merchant.
Yeah, he'll post this now, won't he? On his Twitter.
Oh, so good. Okay, we'll wait. Yes. Okay, we hear you. Of course, we want Kev. Listen, this is an exclusive. This will be the first time you and Kev will be on a show together. No, what?
First time. Yeah, first time.
I love it. Brilliant.
Exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting. Oh, Odegaard is soft. He is. Wow. He's got lovely blonde hair and he's looks moisturized. His skin looks really moisturized. And we won the league at Chelsea, Sophie. Yeah, the Kevin Kyle show coming to you next season, maybe. Who knows? All right, Kyle. While we wait for Super Kev to turn up, let's talk about one other thing. Re-signing this guy, massive.
Yeah.
Huge. Thank you, Gunnerballs, for the pictures. Look at him. He's such a stud.
Actually, very good pictures, aren't they?
Yeah. He's really Jason Woods. He's brilliant. I love him, and he lets us use his art, and we share it. And he's this signing to me is the signing of the summer for us. Whoever comes in after is gravy, because this player, as a player, tell me about Saliba. Just riff off as a player, like.
He's technically very good, and he's a beast. He's quick. You don't see a lot of people get past him, do you? Let's be honest. I was having a discussion with my mate, and we said, who's better, Saliba or Ruben Diaz? Obviously, we agreed on Ruben Diaz, but Saliba's ceiling is higher than Ruben Diaz.
Really?
Would you agree with that? Ruben Diaz is still young, but I think Saliba's ceiling is higher than Ruben Diaz.
Listening. I'm just going to send the link over to Tell me why you think it's higher.
I just think it's because I like his story. He's came up. He went out on loan. Not a lot of players go out on loan and then have to learn a trade, and then he's been put in first season. He had no right to really do as well as he did, and he did very well in an Arsenal side that was good, but realistically, defensively weren't great. And when he was in the side, you look so solid, and you weren't conceding many goals. And if you look at the goal, I'm not saying a goal is making someone's ceiling higher than Ruben Diaz, because obviously I support City, but his goal against Bournemouth, like, you don't really see many centre backs scoring a goal like that, do you? So, and the way how calm he is on the ball, the passes he finds, look, I think you got to show him the respect, and you got to say he's got a high ceiling. Then
this is why I think, and Lynn just mentioned it. This is what I said to Harry and Tom. What is the point in signing Saliba and re-signing Saka? And if you're not going to get players in of that ilk, right? That was Vespa dropping her bone, because she's like, "What? I mean, of course we're going to bring in players of that ilk." But what we have to.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the point of, and I understand Arsenal fans' frustration, because you've got to back up re-signing Martinelli and all those guys and Saliba. And I think, honestly, I agree with you here, Simi. If he was fit for the rest of the season, I reckon he's in for player of the season, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're more likely to challenge as well against City, because he was injured for the away game, and the home game was he out for as well.
Let me ask you this: if Saliba's fit and Zinchenko's fit, do we get closer, or does the same thing happen to us?
I think you get closer. I think you don't get beat at West Ham away. And
do we draw against Southampton at home?
No chance. I think you beat Southampton at home. So that Liverpool away, I do still think that would have happened, but the other two, I think you would have won. And City away, I still think you would have got beat.
Yeah. What are your expectations then? I mean, your players. A couple of questions coming in for you. Mahrez looks like he's going to the Saudi League. Is that right?
Yeah. If we get 60 million, then yeah, rightly so. You know, because we can invest in a new winger. Like, I like the look of Federico Chiesa. I like him at City.
Do you know of any targets that you're specifically? You knew Haaland forever. Yeah. It's like Arsenal and Declan Rice. It's like, we want him so bad, which means we're probably not going to get him. But do you have like a Haaland target that you're going after?
Well, it's Kovacic at the moment. I think that's going to be done.
Chelsea reject.
A week or two. Yeah.
Are City fans yelling that Kovacic is a Chelsea reject?
Not really. I think we're keeping quiet about it, because I've spoken to a lot of Chelsea fans and they've said that he's actually a really good player. So, Kovacic, and also we've been quite quiet. You could say Declan Rice, but I'm not casting that as stone cold interest. I'm just a bit like, it could be, it is what it is really with Declan Rice.
Yeah, he is a baller, Chiesa.
I've seen that we're exploring Havertz, but I don't really believe in that.
So everyone thinks that Kovacic is a really top player and that there's nothing to bitch about. Havertz is not. So yeah, here we go. I know. Listen, what am I going to say? What can I do? What can I do to cheer you guys up? There's only one thing left to do to cheer up the squaddies.
Hello, squaddies. Hey, Sophie, Kyle, good show. I've been watching for a bit, but now the man's there. At ease, squaddies. Come on, let's go for it.
So, Kev,
5 minutes. So
bring on the Kev. Listen, Kev's not going to brock his son's neck, Like, well, I mean, depends.
No,
Depends. Kev.
as I said, he's a treble winner now. I've disowned him a bit, and so I've disowned him for a couple. Him and Ty, I've disowned them for a couple of days, but
Look
I
what
can't stop loving him, can I? Look at that. Look, see, I told you he'll have the biggest smile in his face, and he'll be repping City. I did tell you.
He came on air
Yeah,
like
look
this
at
today,
that,
Kev. I almost broke it myself.
Oh, jeez.
Can't have this, Kev.
Yeah,
Sort it out. Kev, talk to us.
Hey, listen, we always say congratulations to them, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, somewhat. Kev, talk to us. The world's gone mad. The Arsenal fans have lost their marbles. News about Kai Havertz.
Again.
Does this... Yeah, again.
Again.
Kev, do you want to put... I've got calm the
Arsenal
chaos
fans...
on my description.
Yeah, but Arsenal fans, look. Relax yourself. I know you all think you're scouts. You all think you're scouts and you all know players and you all know who to pick. You don't. So let's have it right here. Kai Havertz is a good player. Hasn't shown it that much at Chelsea at times because, let's be honest, Chelsea, especially last season, have been a mess. He has produced. You don't win the Champions League if you're not a good player. Plays for Germany, German international. He can score goals. And I think because Arsenal, we don't do it like Man City now where you have one striker who's banging in all the goals. We do it by committee. So I could see Havertz probably doing that Xhaka job and doing it a lot better than Xhaka, if I'm honest with you. Why? Because he's a lot more prolific in that position than Xhaka ever was. We were happy with Xhaka scoring 1 or 2 goals a season. Kai Havertz potentially can get double figures. So, again, if you add somebody else in, well, what's Henry talking about? Kev, stop defending Cronkies. How am I defending Cronkies? The Cronkies have got us where we are. Just shut up, man. Jeez. Shut up. And you know what? The Cronkies have proven, just to move across, just for Henry, the Cronkies have proven they are winners. Now, they've got to win at Arsenal. That's the most important thing for us. But all the franchises that they own, they've won. The Premier League's probably going to be the most difficult. But they want to win. So now we're going to find out, haven't we? We've discussed this before. We're going to find out exactly how serious the owners are.
We are going to find out how serious the owners are. And like you said, Kev, a lot of the times they don't want us to talk about the success of their teams here in the US because it's like a totally different sport. It works differently. You still have to win. You still have to run an organization to win. You still have to acquire players. You get to let players go. There was a lot of anger in Denver for a while. There's a lot of anger that, the Rams moved to LA, but they make hard decisions in order to win. Kev, the sky really fell with the Havertz thing. Personally, I'm not as offended by this as I was with Willian, and maybe even David Luiz because he had mistakes in him. So help everyone understand here. You mentioned the Xhaka role because Kyle was talking about, well, he's not going to get you goals, is he? Well, he scored 7 goals this season, but he's not coming in as a striker. He's just not going to.
No, he's not a striker because he's not a striker. I mean, this is one thing I would say to Kyle, my boy there. Last season, who was City's target man?
No one.
Right. And you still got the job done, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because you shared the goals out. If we can't get a focal point up top, a different one, if we can't get it, then we go with what we got. It's taken us to second in the league. We're the only team to give you guys a little run. So if we start adding pieces to that where we can get more goals and make us more potent, that's what we need. That is exactly what we need. Everybody, all the know-it-alls out there, we need this one, we need that one. I trust Edu, I trust Mikel to get their recruitment right. I do. I really do. Because where we've been and where we are now, we're on a trajectory. So, yeah, we may not be at the level that City's at the moment, but how long has it taken City to get there? It just doesn't happen in 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Early on, when City had all the money, then they went out and bought all the players. But they've had to build still. They still had to build. So that's what we have to do. Arsenal first time back in the Champions League. Let's get it right, peeps. Let's get it right.
And one of the things, Kev, you and I talk about a lot is Premier League experience. Also, Kai Havertz has Champions League experience. Oh, he scored a winning goal in a Champions League final. How about that? But people poo-poo it because it's like, really, it was N'Golo Kante and X, Y, and Z.
But why do they poo-poo it? Why?
Because it's Chelsea. Let me ask you this, which is I asked Harry and Tom and I asked Kyle and the squaddies. If he was coming from Bayer Leverkusen, do you think Arsenal fans would be super excited right now?
Yes, but it doesn't. Listen, yes, they would be. But you know what, Sophie? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he's coming from Chelsea. He's not over the hill. He's young. He's proven. Whatever the squaddies or gooners want to say, he is proven in the Premier League. He's led a Chelsea team to a Champions League win. Which... That's the type of player we need, isn't it?
Kev,
with Champions League experience.
One of the things I find interesting with him is no matter who was manager, they kept faith with him even when things changed at Chelsea. Didn't they? I don't know if that means anything, but we've said that a lot with Xhaka. There's a reason why Wenger kept faith with him. Even Ljungberg when he was in for a little bit. Emery, Arteta. Is there take me inside the dressing room. Is there an element of that to it as well? Like, how can every manager see him as...
Yeah, let's put it this way. And Kyle will tell you from his short career, when a new manager comes in, if the manager don't like the look of you, what happens, Kyle?
You're gone.
You're gone. You're out, Soph. If he don't like the look of you, so he might see you in training. He might just look at you and just not like you. Or he's got his own mind on bringing somebody else in. And Chelsea, you know the roundabout of managers at Chelsea, but they've always stuck with Havertz. So, do you know what? I'd rather him come in with the same vitriol that Ramsdale, Ben White, and some of those guys come in with, Tommy Yasu. Let the fans talk about, oh, he's not good enough. Let the football, because you know what? So no matter what people think, the football always does the talking. Always. Certainly
does. Always do the talking. You certainly used to let it do all of your talking. There's what has Havertz produced? Even if you don't like him as a player, I respect a player who gets to that position. Sorry, it's not easy. Ask Kyle. Kyle, you jump in here. What has he produced? What has he even produced? Do you think there's enough respect sometimes on some of these players who have made it here? I mean, you tell them.
Oh, I just think he's playing in the Premier League, isn't he? So he's clearly good enough to play, and he's won the Champions League. Obviously, this season he struggled. He struggled this season, but obviously in a Chelsea side that were poor, every single player was poor. So, like, I know how hard it is as well playing with a team that isn't very good. And when your team isn't good, then you don't perform that well. So Havertz could go to Arsenal and he could start performing well because he's got better players around him. Like, who knows? Like,
so
Mark.
So
yeah, my hair's gone funny. I'm sweating like swine. I don't know what everyone wants, Kev.
Ask the squaddies, how many goals has Granit Xhaka scored over his Arsenal career?
Yes, answer that question. I'm not going to tell you.
How many goals has Xhaka scored over his Arsenal
I'd like to
career?
see the numbers pop up in chat. Let's see. Let's see your numbers.
And then we're going to see. Because we're not talking about Havertz at Chelsea. We're talking about Havertz at Arsenal. It's different.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Kev, because if he's 30 million, okay, but 50 plus don't understand. Do you have a threshold?
No.
Price-wise?
Hey, this is the crazy thing. Henry and 30 million for a German international who's play for Chelsea in the Premier League. Are you crazy? I should have stayed off.
We're glad you're here.
About? No, but
Listen,
truthfully, what are you talking about? 30 million. Listen, we're in the Champions League. You're not going to get top players for 30 million quid. You get players that are coming up who maybe haven't been playing, who you need to get in. Look, 17 goals in 225 games. Havertz in the struggling Chelsea side has scored 19 goals in the last, few seasons. In our team, we create chances a lot more than them. So
that's true.
You expect him to be more prolific.
That's true. Yeah.
You look at Raheem Sterling. You look at Gundogan at City. They weren't putting up the numbers that they were putting up outside of Man City.
No, they weren't.
They get into Man City, all of a sudden, whoosh. They take off. Why? Because they're around better players and you get the opportunities.
Mm-hmm. And Lynn, do you remember Arsenal fans wanted Cucurella?
Another 12.
Sorry, Kev, you're on a delay.
Sophie, if we could add another 10 to 15 goals to our team, that makes a massive difference.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ødegaard weren't a goal scorer. He's got 15 goals this season. Saka and Martinelli have got double figures. Jesus has got double figures. So if we could get another one to score 10 to 15 goals, that moves us up a bit closer to City. Because that machine up top for them is just is frightening. So we have to counter that as much as we can.
Kev, do you really think that Kyle and I believe that it's agents or West Ham talking? Do you really think that to move away from Kai Havertz, this is going to be more polarizing, I feel, than Willian and the Mudryk things could get ugly. Stay with us, kids. We've got your backs covered. Let me ask you this, Kev. If not Havertz, there's going to be a player. I think we act like, I was saying earlier, it's Basuma or death. It's like Tillemans or, oh my God, it's Vlahovic or it's Mudryk or my God. It's just it's like they hone in on one player and that's it. There's nobody else out there that can do the job. And we've proven that, missing our target.
Time and time again, we've proven, even if we don't get the one maybe we wanted, it doesn't stop the progress. Doesn't.
Exactly. What do you think about Rice? What do you think's going on here, Kev?
The negotiations are going. I think it'll get done. So I'm not.
What do you think? What do you think about the 6-year payment plan and the add-ons? Everyone seems to be a little bit embarrassed about that today. Any thoughts on that?
Hey, we don't know. Listen, don't believe all the nonsense about 6-year payment plan. We don't know. We don't know. Let Arsenal do their business and try and secure the player. Come on. 6-year payment. Come on now. Jeez.
Well, I mean, what if the landscape of football is changing and that's how clubs have to do business? Money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah, but we've just been injected with
only
money.
In certain countries.
We've just been injected with money because of the Champions League. And this is a window where the Cronkies can invest. So we don't need a 6-year payment plan. Although, sometimes that's how the transfers are structured.
Yeah. And West Ham are going to milk this for as much as they can and as long as they can.
100%. And rightly so.
Yeah. Kyle, got any questions for Arsenal's legendary striker here?
AKA
Kyle...
Dad.
For our football dad here.
So if you were to get a prolific goal scorer, who would it be? Who do you want?
Listen, I'm not losing sleep on getting a prolific goal scorer. You can look at Vlahovic, you can look at Osimhen. Of course you can. That's great. Great guys. Will it happen? I don't think it will. I think, as Sophie mentioned earlier, our problems have been in the midfield. And defense. We were conceding too many goals. So when you're conceding goals, you're not winning games. As a front 3 or 4, we scored it. There's enough firepower there. We're proving that we could stay with City.
Yeah.
What fell away was our opportunity to be able to control games in midfield because we lost momentum, and at the back we started conceding too many goals. When you conceded too many goals, you give yourself a mountain to climb too many times. So that's why I truly believe Arteta wants to really strengthen that midfield. Because maybe Ben White can move back into centre-half spot, but that midfield is crucial. If you look at City could mix and match defences here, there and everywhere, but the midfield's always strong, always. And
I just imagine a goal scorer in that striker position for Arsenal. I think how many chances he'll get, how many goals he will score, and like if he was like to rely on him scoring goals, or if he was to be the main focal point, players like Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, they'll be able to do their thing.
Yeah, but you've got to feed the
striker.
But the problem is, son, you've got to feed the striker. See, look how the way Man City have changed. Your team had to learn how to feed Haaland. So Haaland goes on and scores all these goals. Who's the next high scorer at City? And how many goals does he have? See, that would be an interesting one. And how many goals does he? And he's been on the bench.
Yeah.
So you see the difference.
Julian Alvarez, and then Mahrez.
Not every team is going to do it the same way, but because Haaland is so good and he sticks the ball away so many times, you find that your players around him will have to feed him.
Yeah.
But Arsenal aren't doing it like that. Yeah. Arsenal want to do it in a different way, which I like because, you know what? If Haaland don't score you goals, City are good enough to bring Alvarez off the bench to make a difference. Unfortunately, Arsenal haven't been that team. If we had one striker when Aubameyang was there, I think Sophie mentioned it earlier. When he weren't scoring, we were struggling. We don't want to be in that position. Yeah. We want threats from everywhere.
Okay.
Satisfied with that one, Kyle?
Understand. Yeah, I do understand. I do agree. Obviously I look at City. Because Haaland scored so many goals and broke records. I just think the way Arsenal play, it's similar to City.
Yes, similar, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Mm-hmm. Similar, but not the same. I got a question for you, son.
Go on.
You lose Gundogan and Silva, Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
Does that affect your team?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because they're two starters.
100%.
And big players.
Team. Yeah, massive players. I'd rather keep. I don't know who I'd rather keep. Gundogan has won us so many games this season, and Bernardo won us the game against Real Madrid in the semi-final at our place. So I don't know. I just don't know how we'd replace him. I don't know who would get in. I think.
Well, here's the funny thing. And here's the crazy talk. I'm thinking you guys should be welcoming because who you got there? Phil Foden, right? They're talking about he's the next superstar. So Phil Foden should be the next one up.
What, for Bernardo?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Can he play left back?
I agree with that.
Well, but Sophie, Sophie, you see, remember, our star boy can. And he has done it.
Yeah.
You see the difference? We're talking Saka up so much. Foden's different class. Well, okay then. It's your turn, Phil. Do you know what I mean? It's his turn.
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva, thanks. So it's Phil Foden's turn. I think you miss Gundogan big time if he leaves.
Yeah, I think we will as well. Because he just links up the play so well. I just don't know who will get in for Gundogan. Like people say, like obviously, Frankie de Jong isn't really the same player as he was when he was at Ajax.
Calvin Phillips on the bench.
No. Shouldn't even win a medal.
Talk about the rich getting richer. What are you talking about? You got Calvin Phillips there sat on the bench.
Carrying a spare tyre. Sorry,
he's a
did I say
central
that out
defensive
loud?
midfielder. We need a technical.
John Stones is a centre half, but he played midfield. Come on, son, don't give me none of that.
Yeah, but Gundogan, if you look at the way he plays, he's small. He can get in and out of tight spaces.
Calvin
Phillips, he can't do that.
He can.
Can he?
He can do that. He can.
I'm not too sure.
He can.
No, I don't think he can.
Hey, I saw John Stones on the edge of the opposition's box trying to beat people. So if he can do that, Calvin Phillips could play box to box. 100%.
But I know City, and we would not put Calvin Phillips there if Gundogan was to leave. We'll get a replacement.
See, Sophie, this is what we've got to Gooners. This is what we got, squaddies. This is what we've got to do. They've got the riches. They've got the mindset of just he's out. We'll get another one in. So
yeah, out with the old, in with the new.
Exactly, Sophie. This is what we're. Look at this guy. Yeah. Hey, by the way,
I removed him. Look, do you want to see what I did to him last time he did that, Kev?
Oh, yeah, remove him. Take him out of there. Fed up with him. Look. Our time will come. Hopefully, our time will come.
It will.
Will it?
Kev, go on, Kev. Go on, Kyle. Did you have something else for your for Dad?
Yeah, I've got a question actually. What do you think? Obviously, I know it's an Arsenal channel, so
my co-host back up here. Sorry.
So excuse my language, but do you think Harry Kane will stay at you know who?
I think this is a real tough one because I think he'd like to get to the end of his contract if he's to stay. But I think Real Madrid are going to have a serious problem now that Benzema's gone. They need a striker who can hit the ground running, who can score goals. No messing around. And one thing they don't rely on Benzema for his speed. So with Vinicius there, with Valverde, with the players they've got, Bellingham just going there, I think it could be a really good move for Harry Kane if Real Madrid were to try and get him. I think it's something that he might listen to.
Can I ask you both a question from a player point of view? Because a lot of the times, a lot of people yelling, even ex-footballers and pundits, that Harry Kane's got no ambition. Like, if he really truly had ambition, he would want to leave Tottenham to win things because the likelihood of him winning at Tottenham is unlikely. Now, it probably is, but we don't know that either. It would be so ironic that Ange, the Greek, comes in and wins them a trophy when Mourinho and Conte couldn't. Kev, do you stay to break a record? Would you? I mean, you probably would have stayed at Arsenal your entire career. Would you?
If I probably had the opportunity, yeah. People talk about ambition. Let's stop all this talk. Loyalty. Fans talk about loyalty in football. It's amazing, isn't it? Fans don't want loyalty when he's got no ambition. Harry Kane's playing for Spurs. He loves Spurs. I got no problem with him staying at Spurs. And do you know what, Sophie? If they were to win a trophy with Harry Kane in it, that would be the biggest thing ever.
That would.
For Harry Kane and his legacy. Oof. So maybe that's what he's just hoping. Yeah, I could break the record here, but do you know what? If I stayed loyal to the club and I won a trophy with the club, in the end, my legacy there'll be a statue outside. Let's be honest.
I think he'll get a statue regardless.
Yeah,
and
imagine how with a trophy, I think.
Yeah, it's a bigger statue. But also, I mean, look, I wonder how Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus feel not having done the treble. I mean, would that bother you, Kev? Would that bug you, Kyle? Like to leave and then it would bother me. It would
be a bit annoying.
It would.
Bit annoying. It would, wouldn't it? Me personally, if I left City and the season after they won the treble, I'd be like, are my team doing anything? I'd be like, but what if? It's a what if, isn't it? It's a what if.
So let me tell you something. you make decisions at the time, not on the future. Fact of the matter is, Jesus needed to get out to play football. Zinchenko needed to get out to play football. And they got out and they played football. And they nearly got us right to the end to win a title. Weren't to be. Manchester City were just too good. And because Jesus left, they got in the striker that they needed. That's the difference. And always remember, we discussed this even when Kyle wasn't coming on the Highbury squad. If Manchester City get that number 9 that we always knew that they needed, they could win a Champions League, and they won it.
Yeah, they did. It's the Alisson Van Dijk moment, and someone put that in our chat earlier, Kev and Kyle. And I feel like we're at that Van Dijk Alisson moment. 3, 2. We need more than Kev thinks we need 8. We'll get
6. I'll take 6. Give me 8 all day long.
Yeah, but those two came in and started. So you do need that point of difference in the midfield for sure. It's the weakest link right now. And if your back line isn't fit, you've got problems there, and you'll have problems all season. And we've seen it. Kev, there's so much concentrated, and Kyle, on our midfield. But we need a centre back. We need like a right back. We need, if Tini's going, we need a left. There's all this focus on the midfield. And so I'm really happy knowing that the club behind the scenes are probably working on all those other positions, which I'm expecting them to.
I think midfield's key. I really do. You can chop and change your defense all you like. If your engine room is not right, that's when other teams cut through you. It's just as simple as that. And a lot is talked about defending and, this defender, that defender. I don't care who you are. If the opposition keep coming through your midfield in droves, you're going to concede goals. We just can't. We can't afford that, especially when it matters late on. We were good right up until the end, and then we fell off right at the end. Why? Because we couldn't keep that level. Whereas City can mix and match and change, but the midfield always remains strong. Always.
Yeah. I mean, we fell short, defensively, which had been really good for us most of the season. And Kyle keeps talking about goals, and there's someone who's going to play a gigantic match tonight, and it would be remiss of me not to bring it up because he's a very special player and he grew up in the Arsenal system. Super Kev and Kyle, here's your striker. Here's the missing link. Here's the Rottweiler. He scared me when I met him. Balogun plays tonight against Mexico in the Nations League. He makes his debut. It's so exciting in Las Vegas. I tell you, the country is watching. He has got people turning the page, Super Kev. They're very excited about this young man. And he and Matt Turner tonight play in front of a sellout crowd at the the Las Vegas Raiders stadium. Still do that.
Well, it's a special stadium, isn't it? It really is special. Look, now the pressure's on Balogun because people expect. When he went out to France, do you remember we were saying go out there and get learn your trade and do the best you can and blah blah. He ripped it up. But now comes the tough part. You've got to keep doing it, and you've got to keep being a threat.
What's wrong with thinking he's Apollo Creed?
We're gonna see if he can handle it, because it's really important for him. But what he done in France has got a lot of teams interested in him. So, could I see him starting for Arsenal? No, I can't, if I'm honest. But if we can, as I said, cash in and get a buyback, then we'll see.
Oh, you rate Balogun, don't you? You were saying on one of our previous shows you'd like to see him being given a chance. Have you changed your mind about him at all? And what do you make of him coming here? And I think, he's Apollo Creed. What do you mean you need Rocky? What do you need Rocky for when you have Apollo Creed right here? Look at him. Yeah, come on. He's loving it. He's loving the spotlight, I think. But at the same time, I think he's ready to show what he can do, Kyle. Yeah,
I think everyone deserves a chance in a run of games. That's what I think he deserves. I think Arteta just I just think he needs to give him a chance. Play him.
Who do you drop, son?
Even been pre-season.
Who do you drop?
Jesus.
What are you talking about? See, this is why I stay off this. You don't drop Jesus. Jesus makes everybody better, son.
Yeah, Balogun can score your goals.
Is he? How do you know that? He hasn't done it.
He could.
No, but I'm saying he hasn't done it. And we're not that team. I don't expect Balogun to come in and score goals like Haaland. Do you?
No.
Right. So we need Saka. We need Martinelli. We need Odegaard to be banging goals in as well. That's why Jesus is so fundamental to what we do. Now, if there's someone with experience who can maybe challenge a Haaland, fair enough. But I don't see personally Balogun. And we're talking about he's been on loan in France one season. If he can come in and be that player, wow. Now that would be incredible. I've not seen it yet.
He scored 20 plus goals though.
Yeah, but I've not seen it in the Premier League yet. Pepe was ridiculous in France. Couldn't do it in the Premier League. So let's have some balance. That's all. Some balance of it.
Kyle, can I throw this one at you too, as well, both of you? And we'll wrap up here in just a little bit. 350 of you in live chat is fine. Thursday evening, hit that like button for us. Why is it Saliba going to France was this epic, grandiose learning curve moment? He came back a man and he came back ready to play. What a great decision by Mikel Arteta. But Balogun's goals don't mean shit to no one because they were scored in Liga. Explain that to me. Someone.
Who said they don't mean anything?
People.
I think they
People
mean
like who?
Fans.
But I don't think anybody says they don't mean anything, so.
But you just said that it kind of like, has he proven it really? But we are forgiving of Saliba who went and proved it.
No. Hold on, Soph. If you remember rightly, I said the same thing about Saliba. I said the only way we're going to know is when we get him in. That's the only way we're going to know. I said, so but learning your trade is so important. So important. Now, Saliba was in France on loan for 2 years, wasn't he? Fair enough. Balogun went out there and ripped it up. I said that. But my question was, do you see him being a starter in Arsenal's side? No, I don't. Do you, Sophie?
I think that I would love to give him a chance. I think that when he got the chance to start against Brentford. Hold on one second.
Question.
Yes, I would like to see him.
Sophie,
yes.
No.
Yes.
Do you see Balogun being a starter in Arsenal's side?
Potentially, yes. I would like to see him start.
So who are you going to drop?
I'm going to drop Jesus in the FA Cup and in the League Cup.
No,
I'm going to drop him.
You see, no. That's not.
And I'm going to drop Jesus in certain games against sides where we have more, where we need more power and goals up front. I would love to see Balogun get a chance. Yes, is my answer.
But that's not the question. You see, I'm talking about starting from day one against Forest in the team starting. I don't see Balogun being that player, and I don't see him having the patience to be on the bench.
No, he definitely, I agree with you there. He definitely does not. He's done with the patience. He's ready to start. There's no doubt about that, Kev. So I'm saying, right, when sometimes you need, look, Jesus, we need to get away from everyone starting every game all the time. We need to get away from that. Sure, have your core 11, but our core 11 became the team, the squad. And anything beyond that would break us.
We struggled a bit.
We struggled a bit.
But, Sophie, you are 100% right. But here's the thing. And this one here, Kyle knows it better than we do. You've got to have players who sit on the bench who are happy to play their role. As you just said, Balogun is done with the waiting. If he's done with the waiting, he's not going to be at Arsenal because he's not going to be a starter. City have the beautiful squad that they can mix and match and Mahrez will get his game time, and Foden will get his game time, and Alvarez will get their game time, and they'll just spin the squad, and everybody gets games. We don't. We don't.
Yeah. I like that last comment a lot. I mean, I think Balogun's ceiling's higher than Eddie's. Just a gut feeling. My scouting years of scouting, Kev.
No, Sophie, you know what, Soph?
Yeah.
He's more explosive and all that. Yeah, I get that he is. But the problem is, he's done so well in France. And again, we ain't throwing I'm not throwing his goals away. He smashed it in France. But the patience gonna go. He needs, this is important. He needs that patience, because you know what? If he can come in and do the business, who's to say if they're in an injury, he don't start? But you need to have that mindset.
Yeah.
I'm going to hang around and do it here.
I found him.
Okay,
go on, Kyle.
But let's say Jesus was to get injured in pre-season. Who would you rather start, Balogun or Nketiah?
Nketiah would start.
Who would you want to start?
Who would you want to start?
Nketiah would start. Doesn't matter
no,
who I
do
want
you
to
want to
start.
start?
Doesn't matter who I want to start. I know Nketiah would start. Do you know why Nketiah would start? Because when Jesus wasn't there, Nketiah came in and done a damn good job.
He did. It's proven.
Because you know what, Soph? Here's the funny thing. Do you remember
but then
when,
he kind
was it a couple of seasons ago when we played Brentford in the first game?
I was going to bring that up before you said when you redid the question. Balogun was set up to fail in that game. That's a cruel example.
No, hold on a minute. I'm saying that he's not set up to fail, Sophie. The problem is Aubameyang and Lacazette were taken out on the day of the game. And I'm not talking, Balogun's moved on from there. I'm just talking about putting people in maybe when they're not quite ready. Because Balogun scores goals in France, great. But can he lead the line for Arsenal? He's a different kettle of fish.
No one thinks you've answered Kyle's question, and I don't think you have either. Who would you start?
I would start Eddie. For bloody hell, Eddie Nketiah would start. What is wrong with these people? Eddie Nketiah would start for me. Why? Because he has done it in this Arsenal team. He knows the players better than Balogun does. And I don't want to see Balogun struggle. I don't.
So I did see Eddie on tour before he kind of bulked up a bit, Kyle. And I saw Balogun just last week. Let me tell you, that guy is a menace, and he will be a menace. And he reminds me a little bit, it's a mix of Super Kevin Campbell and Ian Wright. I think he's going to be a Rottweiler, and I think he's going to be great wherever he goes. That's just my 2 cents. You know, when you stand, it's like when I first met your dad, I was like, there's a movie called Roadhouse. You're probably too young for it, Kyle, but it's Patrick Swayze plays a bouncer. And the line in it is like, I thought you'd be bigger, right? When I met your dad, I was like, oh my God, you are so much bigger than I thought that you were, you know? And I love it when players kind of take you by surprise like that. And I think, and Balogun for me was similar, like, holy cow, he's got presence. The dude has presence.
Yeah.
Sophie, do you know the funny thing? And I'll say this to Kyle as well. They might come back pre-season and Balogun tears it up. Just like Saliba did last pre-season. Do you remember? Do you remember last pre-season? We were like, what the hell? He's unbelievable. We'll find out when the league starts. And then the league starts and he's good at game after game after game. Balogun might be that, but he will never get a run of games yet because he has to be patient.
I actually think Eddie would start for a few clubs up front. I think there are a few. Sheffield United would take him right now. Luton Town would take him right now. I'm sorry, is that scraping the barrel? But yeah, there's your answer.
Still Premier League. Still Premier League.
I'd rather have Balogun. I'll be real.
Yeah, me and Kyle on the same page. Right. Listen, we've been going for an hour and 24 minutes, and you got bonus Super Kev.
It's my fault.
No, we love it. We love that you hijacked the show. Don't we, Kyle?
Yeah.
Listen, I just wanted to come on to make it 2-1 for Arsenal. The only time we've beaten City. We beat them 2-1 today, and then hopefully next season, eh?
Don't you dare bring that scarf out again, otherwise you'll be out. Look,
Take him out.
He's
Take
already
him
had a
out,
yellow.
Sol.
Right.
Red card, Kyle. See you later. See you later. Get him off, Soph. Get him off. Take him out.
Right.
Take him out.
I warned him.
Yeah, get him out. We don't need him now.
We don't need him now. Yeah. Kev, why don't you leave So I've got calm the chaos right here. Should we let him back in or should we leave him?
Yeah, let him back in.
All right, we'll let him back in. There we go.
Oh, you thank God the scarf's down.
Yeah. Super Kev, I've put today, I want to be the calm in the storm, which is very crazy coming from a Greek person. And in the past, I may have thrown toys out the pram and gone supersonic, but that's not going to be me this summer. I'm going to stay.
Oh, look at the headband.
Listen, Rambo. Listen, Rambo. Tell you something, kid. I got you.
The samurai will come out. Trust me. When it mash it,
Super Kev. What do we want to leave the gang here with? It seems too much fun, doesn't it, guys? There's like almost 400 of you here, so yeah.
Do you know what? Here's what I would say to the Arsenal fans, and you know what? It's good having Kyle on here because they're the team who we're chasing. When I first got to Arsenal, and it was Liverpool, and now these guys are accumulating. This is the team to beat. They've just done a treble. We know they will not do the treble again.
How do we know
No
that?
team has done back-to-back trebles.
Right.
No team. No team. State the obvious, Newman. Jeez. But here's the great thing. City lose a couple of their key players. I know they can replace, but still, it is still going to take a little bit of time to integrate, I'm sure. Arsenal looking to strengthen and improve. That's why we've got to get it right. Because our adversary down below, Kyle's team, is a serious opponent. Very serious opponent. And it's only going to make us stronger and better because we have to get it right now. We have to get it right. So that's what I think. That's what I think the squaddies and the Gooners have to realize, that, you know, we are up against a juggernaut, but we've got to fight. We've got to be our own juggernaut. That's the thing. We're against a juggernaut. We've got to be our own juggernaut now.
I'd love it if they fell apart after Pep left. I think he's going to leave it too strong, though. Can't wait for him to leave.
Listen, a different voice means different mentality of players. It's not the same.
Mm-hmm. They could be demoted. They're not going to get demoted, Tammy. They'll get a slap on the wrist. That's not happening. We need to squash that one.
Yeah, but why even mention the 115 charges?
I know. What's the point?
If you're not going to do anything.
Exactly. Exactly. And Keith, I always have it on deck just to remind Kyle and everyone the quadruple has been done by these phenomenal women. History makers they are. Yeah. And I tell you what, Super Kev, that needs to be respected a little bit more, folks. And Kev, one thing before we go. Oh my God, total brain fart. I had it right here. Right here. Where's it gone?
Because Kyle's wearing that scarf.
It's really distracting. You're going to have to take it off now. You're going to have to take that off.
He loves it. He loves it. Look.
Yeah. Where's... So explain now you two are together. This is what everyone wants to know. We did explain it, but people want to know now in front of your dad. Tell everyone how Super Kevin Campbell's son became a Manchester City fan.
Well, I think it was because me and Ty were at the academy, wasn't it, Dad? That's probably the main reason, wasn't it?
No, it was before then. I think.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think from school. From school, there's either United. Went to school you went to. It was either United or City. Yeah, but there was a little pocket of you, and Simo.
Oh yeah.
Was Man City, and you remember you all used to go to the games and stuff like that. We used to go to the games. And obviously Ty gets into the academy, then Kyle gets into the. So it's a bigger draw, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're connected, these boys are not from London. So, they're born and bred in Manchester. So it's either the red or the blue, and they chose blue before the money. That's one thing I will say.
They did, Kev. They did.
They chose blue before the money. So
yeah, they did. And they've stuck with it. Absolutely stuck with it. And I don't think I could do a show with Kyle if he was a Man United fan. I don't think so, because there's too much history. There's too much water under the bridge there, Kev. Yeah.
He wouldn't be my son if he was a Manchester
United. To be fair, a lot of people say that, like, when I say, "Oh yeah, I'm a City fan," they go, "Oh yeah, but you sound like you're from London." It's like,
no, you don't. Jeez,
like,
you do not.
Like, what?
Oh my gosh!
But people up north think I sound like I'm from London.
Yeah, but they don't know Cockneys, do they?
Yeah.
They don't know Cockneys much.
You're a man of the world. You see, your accent evolves when you travel and you do stuff. I mean, I've been living in America for how many years, and I still sound like this. And then when I talk to someone, they'll say, "Oh, are you from Australia?" I'm like, "No, I'm not from Australia."
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. God, don't say that, gee.
Super Kyle 2.0. Let's get your closing statement before we head out, please, for today.
My closing statement is, hope everyone has a good end to the week and a good weekend. Everyone stay safe out there and enjoy the transfer window.
Oof.
And let's just relax and see who our club sign, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's done in September, the transfer window. Yeah,
September.
A long time. There's a long way to go. So let's not get too
carried away,
and let's just relax and just see what happens.
Well done. Very nice. And here's what's going to happen next. Super Kev's going to close the show, and we will be back on Monday for Monday Madness. And that will be the last show for a couple of weeks. I'm going away on holiday. I'm going to take some time out before my beloved Gunners come to these grand United States. There's a lot of work to do ahead of the tours. And we'll be bringing you all of that. And we return with Kevin Hatchard on Monday night. We love Kevin, and he's going to give us the debrief on some of these players and maybe ease your mind if the Kai Havertz thing is happening, because Kev has followed him since he basically started following football. Super Kevin Campbell, it's over to you.
So, squaddies, finally I get on when Sophie and Kyle are on their podcast. Finally I get in. It's not the first time me and Kyle have been on, as you know, because Kyle came on one of our shows, so which was great. But it's always a pleasure to join. My son, I love him very dearly. And it's just only 48 hours left before I claim him back as my son. There you go. After winning the treble. So look, he's got that thing around his head and stuff like that. Hopefully he comes back down to earth in a bit. It's gone now. It's done. You've won it. Take it up. But well done and congratulations to Kyle and Manchester City. We know that. I will say to Sophie, hostess with the mostest as always, it's going to get bumpy, Soph. It's going to get bumpy. This transfer window is going to get bumpy because with this lot here, it makes it more difficult because we know what we need. We know what we want to chase. And if we don't get it, people are going to be up in arms, aren't they? So, listen, we are in a better position to add quality to the squad. Let's take it. Let's take it as best we can. Let's trust in Arteta and Edu and everybody that they've got it. They've got it pretty good up to now. Let's hope they make the right signings and push us forward again. Because do you know what? I'll be honest with you. After seeing all this silverware these guys are getting,
and West Ham,
we need some silverware. That's what we need. We need some silverware. So, shut up, Kyle. On that note, squaddies, take good care, look after yourself, tell your loved ones you love them, we love you, and we'll see you on Monday, and then there'll be a break. So have a great funky Friday, a superb weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. So, squaddies, always remember, look after yourself and at ease, squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.